Yeah.
I love the jump because
Yeah.
everybody that's on here that didn't have a big a year as last year as they wanted, that this is what's possible.
Yeah.
Harold is what's he sets the bar now for what's possible.
Yeah.
And again, results not typical. He worked insanely hard and he spent a lot of money on leads. We make no guarantees, but this is one man's story. Hello, everybody. Grady Paulson here, Family First Life America. Beyond excited to have my man Harold Durana joining us live from San Jose, California. I'm going to give all the deets, bro. 36, father of two, been in the industry for about a decade, but recently was turned on to the incredible opportunity that Family First Life possesses. And unlike many of his peers, Harold saw the opportunity and ran with it. Last year, he was our number 5 producer in the entire company, earned himself a gold jacket, and paid over $1 million in life insurance premium on his own pen while leading a team to executive vice president level, which means his agency that he overrides and coaches does $500,000 a month. He was our Limitless Award winner, an all-around ball of energy. I truly enjoyed getting to meet him just for a brief time in the hallway, but been chatting with him, preparing for this call, and I'm super excited for what we have today. So without further ado, Mr. Harold Durana, how are you today, my man?
I'm good. Dang, you make me sound amazing. I need to meet that guy.
He is amazing.
Yeah, wow,
He's
amazing
fantastic.
guy.
Dude, well, so good. How just 15 seconds. How was convention for you?
Convention's awesome. I've been doing this for a long time and I will never, ever, ever miss conventions. I'll never miss conferences. There's so much knowledge passed through that place. I mean, like, I picked up so much stuff. I have so much notes that I had to run through and highlight and pull. And again, I've been doing this for a long time, and if you're not getting notes from it and learning stuff, I mean, it's crazy. Blows my mind.
Agreed, bro. Agreed. So, well, I I I feel like I've heard your name, like I've seen it on leadloads, and
Yeah.
now all of a sudden you're on stage. You had full on legit. I don't even know what the proper braids. You had
Yeah.
your dreadlock. Your hair looks so
Yeah.
legit, and I was like, this dude is awesome. Oh, and he wrote $1 million last year. And I'm just excited to get to spend more time with you. Will you give us some like background, backstory, how you found, the industry, how you found FFL, like what that sort of looks like? Because a lot of people out there that come on these calls and watch on YouTube that are looking, right? They're looking for an
Yeah.
opportunity. They're looking for, should I jump, right? Should I leave my other sales organization and come to insurance? And how did all that line up for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was actually at a practice company prior, and I was there for a long time. I actually was there for 12 years. So, you know, it's it's when that's the only thing you know, that's all you know, right? And that's really what it was for me. I jumped in, kind of was like, okay, I'll just try it. And this, long time, I'll just try it. I was 22 at the time. I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll just try it. I was 22, I had nothing to lose, and gave it a shot and actually liked it, enjoyed it, talking to people all day, having conversations with people. So it was fun. It was interesting. And then I kept going, and things change, right? It's always great in the beginning, and all of a sudden things change, and it didn't change the way I thought it would. It didn't change to advance. It hurt everybody. So, being a manager there and you like are in charge, like basically you're in charge of leads and not having an answer for people, it was rough, right? Because it's a limited number of leads and trying to give them out. And I talked about it on stage. I played the lead shuffle game. It was rough. That was like my last straw. It was like, hey, Grady, here's some leads for you. And it's like, well, somebody else just worked them, but they're new to you. You've never seen them. You've never called them. So let's try it. Let's see what happens. And it's like, hey, they just told me they just talked to somebody. And it's like, oh, just keep calling. It's fine. Just give more referrals. You'll be all right. Just figure it out. So it was rough. And then what happened was, when that happens, your eyes open. Ultimately, you're blinded by your own success, right? You're looking at it as like, I'm doing well, and you didn't really think of like, how are other people really doing? You just kept knowing like every year I was doing well, making good money. It was great. It was awesome. I loved it. And then Isaiah Tatamy just put it in my face. It was like, well, you got agents who are not doing well. I know that. Who's your guy that writes the least amount? And I was like, okay, well, like 2 to 4, policies a month. And was like, you can't survive on that, especially with the carrier comp that we had, over there. And it was, there's nothing. I had no answer for it, right? I was like, you're absolutely right. And that's what really pushed me in this direction. It was like, well, I'm doing well, but everybody else is losing, and it's not fun. It's not fair. It's like being the only one winning isn't always fun. It's not fun. But having your peers with you winning at the same time, I mean, it's a great feeling because you're doing it together, right? So that's really what pushed me over, and knowing that everybody's getting a raise.
It's awesome.
So
That's right. It's true. I mean, I'm familiar with the concept. I mean, a lot of companies start people at a significantly lower compensation plan, but preach better culture, or preach, let's just do referrals, or preach, you don't have to buy leads. You don't have to incur the expense of leads. So that's why we can start you at a lower compensation rate. And just
yeah,
there's 19 people eating off the back. So one person's selling a policy at 30%, and it's
yeah,
not the way it should be. And so I love to hear that's part of your story, that's one of the reasons why you found us. So did you always write at a high level, or did you come here and you saw what was possible and you're like, I'm going to freaking hit the cover off of every ball? Like, how did this sort of Herald gold jacket earner come
yeah.
about?
That's a great question. So like I started over when I was at my last company, it was just normal writer, average writer, nothing crazy, nothing wild. The reason why is because the way the leads work, it didn't allow for that really, unless you were an absolute favorite and everybody loved you and they were like, okay, you're chosen for this, so I'm gonna give you all the stuff that you need, right? But when you go against the grain and try to do, they don't. They're like, let me go to somebody else who's gonna do everything I tell them, you know, and sell that dream, So I wasn't outrageous or anything like that. I was just an average producer. And then just coming over here and like literally seeing how everything is ran, again, the lead center. You're like, wait, so I could just go on the lead center and I could just pick whatever I want. Are you sure? Not when I check out, it's not going to say, sorry, you can't do that. Are you sure? Like, just even, yeah, again, talking to Isaiah, I was like, I could just pick anything I want, any state I want. You sure? Yeah, try it. And it's like you try and you're like, okay, this is crazy. Like nobody's controlling this. Nobody's telling me I can't get these leads, right? So, and I talked about it on the stage, like the playing field is ridiculously even, right? I'm not fighting against somebody for a territory. I'm not fighting against somebody for leads. I'm not, and that's why everybody works so well together, right? Everybody helps each other because nobody's fighting each other, right? There's not that lead issue, where it's like, well, if I help him, he might get more leads than me. So, I don't want to do that. And that's how it was. But now it's like, I don't care. I can help anybody. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't change. You know, there's no way you're going to go in there, Grady, and buy 100,000 leads in the state that I'm getting. There's plenty. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I know you can't buy them all at once, so
Not
I'll be
Andrew will,
okay.
if not Andrew will figure it out, and he'll fill it right back up. So
Yeah. It'll just boom, leads are bought, nope, goes back up. Yeah. So, you see that lead equality, and then you're just like, well, lead flow is cash flow. So if I just dump a whole ton of bunch of leads on myself, I'll be fine, right? At the end of the day. So that's what I did. Just literally dump a ton of leads on myself. So the biggest thing, like the issue with a lot of people is that like lead stress. People want to like squeeze those leads as hard as they can, but it's like, well, if you just dump more leads in your lap, you're not having that mental stress of like, oh no, I gotta like squeeze these leads. No, I'm just like, whatever, I'm gonna dump more leads on my lap, and then I'm gonna dump more again, and then do it again. But I'll still work the old leads, but I'm not gonna have to really squeeze and stretch them as hard as I can. And that's when that lead stress happens. That's when you stop writing business, you destroy your momentum, right? So at the end of the day, it was just seeing how the system is built. I have all the training in the world literally just going on YouTube University, right? You just go on there, type in FFL, and all of a sudden 1,000 videos pop up. And I'm like, cool, I can watch every single one, to figure out everything. And then it's like, okay, cool, lead flow. Okay, got it. And everybody's message is the same, right? Lead flow, lead flow, lead flow. So I'm like, all right, cool, lead flow. Let me just dump leads on my phone. That's all I did.
okay. So when did you start? Me back just for
Sep-
clarity.
September 2021.
21, February
Yeah.
21.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No,
ballpark.
September. September.
Okay, so what'd you write in 22?
not much, like maybe 160, 170. Yeah. It was like a year of figuring it out, you
Okay.
know? So it's funny because people always ask me like, "What'd you do?" And I'm like, "I did terrible." And they're like, "Why and how?" Well, I came from another company where I was there for 12 years, so my entire programming was that.
Yeah.
And I literally would like talk to clients all over the phone, and it's funny because Isaiah would listen to me, and he's like, "Yo, why'd you say that?" And I'm like, "I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know why I said that." He's like, "Why did you just do that?" I was like, "I don't know, dude. I just it's automatic. I don't know what to do." So it took a long time to get all of that and just throw it out of my mind, right? It was very difficult to get that out. And and I talk about this a lot with new agents. It's like, yo, I've been doing this for a long time. I have a lot of knowledge of insurance, but when I was seeing that and I was like, man, this is weird. I just not used to this. I literally was like, okay, wait. Hey, I've been a manager for a long time, and what do we tell agents? You got to be coachable. And I'm like, all right, I'm coming in here with this ego of I know everything and trying to be that guy. And I'm like, wait, let me back up. I need to be coachable. I need to go back to being a student. And that's what I did. I went to Isaiah, I was like, tell me everything I need to know. I'm going to do it. I don't care what it is. Tell me how to do it, and I'll just follow. So just humbling myself and putting myself back into that student mentality because I'm a rookie here. I am. I'm a rookie here. This is 2.5 years. That's rookie, right? And when I started, I was brand new. I didn't know anything. You know, I'm like all these different carriers. I only knew one carrier. Now I got to learn all these carriers. So it's just that. It's just that. Become a student. That's really it. And I'm still to this day gonna continue to be a student. This is why I say like, yo, I call everybody. I ask everybody every question I can think of. Why? Because I'm still a student. You're doing something that I'm not doing. I need to learn from you. Right. So just get back to student mentality. That's it.
So okay. I agree. I love all that.
Yeah.
I'm still a student trying to figure out how to go from 160 to 1000. And
Yeah.
so what was there a switch? Did you have
Yes.
another baby? Did you guys buy a house that's gigantic? Did every family member move into the living
Yeah.
room? And you're like, I got
Yeah.
to get these people out of here and we need to
Yeah.
make money to buy all them houses. Like, how did
Yeah.
I love the jump because all
Yeah.
it's everybody that's on here that didn't have a big a year as last year as they wanted, that this is what's possible. Harold
Yeah.
is Harold is what's he sets the bar now for what's possible.
Yeah.
And again, results not typical. He worked insanely hard and he spent a lot of money on leads or make no guarantees, but this is one man's story. So
Hmm.
heading into 2023, where was the switch? Where what
Yeah. I love it because so that 2022 was like a figure it out year. I was just like such a mess trying to figure it out, trying to try this lead, try that lead, and all these different types of leads, and thinking like this is gonna work. I did like transfers, that's gonna work. I don't know. I tried everything, right? And everybody's like, "Yo, you just need to like stick to one thing and run it and do it, and then you can add to your boat. Yeah, keep adding more and more. Sure, but you need to stick to one thing and run it and get good at it before you just try everything. So, and that took me a while to figure out. I literally had leads coming from all over the place. And what I did was like, I started figuring it out, figuring it out. I actually wasn't even doing mortgage protection. Yeah, I was doing everything else but mortgage protection. And then
okay,
I finally, you know what? Isaiah was like, you have to do mortgage, just try it. I don't know anything about buying houses and mortgages. I don't know anything like that. I don't know anything about all that. That's over my head, man. You
yeah,
know? But he's like, just try it, run it, and see what happens. So I did it. I dove in, made every single mistake you can think of, said all the wrong things. Okay. And then, I think it was like maybe October, November, December, that last, couple months, I figured it out. I was like, wow. I was like, wait, I was just doing the same exact thing over and over and over again. And I was like, yo, everybody keeps saying yes. This is crazy. I don't know why. Everybody keeps saying yes. This is nuts. But I was doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I kept it very uniform because that's where I come from. Keep it uniform, keep it simple. That way I can tweak and adjust. If my presentation is different every single time, there's no way to fix it, right? Because I don't know what's going to happen. So I put a process together for myself and I literally took none of my stuff is original, by the way. I took everything from everywhere.
perfect.
I even took stuff from like Sean Mike did like a presentation a long time ago. I literally took it and it's still in my presentation. So like I took little things and just pulled them from all different places, put together a process, I'm used to writing like presentations and putting it together. So I put something together, was like, all right, let me try this. And then I was writing, and then I was tweaking, I was writing, and everybody on our team was like, yo, you just dropped, 10 policies this week. And I was like, yeah, I know, it's crazy. And they're like, what are you doing? And I was like, just wait. Let me fine tune a little bit more. And then I fine tuned and then I fine tuned. And then, dude, January was just pure implementation. Once January hit, it was just an implementation, dumping the leads on myself and just implementing all the things that I created. We did a little bit of tweaks throughout the year, right? And just fixing things, changing this around. Okay, we're getting the same rebuttal every single time. Man, that's crazy. All right, let's fix it. Boom, put something else in there. Now we don't get it. Cool. And then just kept doing that over and over and over again. Now it's just straight duplication, right? So there was it's not it was just going through all the hardships, trying to figure it out, not giving up, right? I could have gave up so many times. I wanted, people always ask me how many times you wanted to quit. I don't know, 365 times. Once a day. Yeah, once a day. So, but just getting through it, because again, I said it on my at the convention, like you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So I just knew, like, I just have to go work, 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 work. It'll eventually pan out and I'll figure it out. And that it just boom, all of a sudden.
Okay, so before we open this can of, before we get to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that we're about to dig into, make sure you got your friends on this call with you guys, because we're about to go hang out with some leprechauns. Because that's um what let's talk about lead flow for a second. So you started with everything,
Yeah.
tried it all, which is great. And
Uh-huh.
so, and then you got to mortgage protection. I
Yep.
want just a approximate dollar amount, and not like for the year, but like, what do you, maybe we'll do two questions, right? What do you, three questions. New agents, what do you start them on? Top agents you have, and then what does Harold do? Right.
Sure.
So what, and we'll go from a weekly investment. And this is a reoccurring, or we can go monthly, however, but I want
Sure.
just those, because you do coach an agency. I mean, you got a bunch of top bangers underneath you
Hmm.
that have come and you guys are working together. So it's, everyone's like, well, how much do I got $12. And I'm like, well, you just go get a cheeseburger and do something else for a little bit and find
Yeah.
some money and come back with some ambition, because I ain't going to cut it. You can't do it with
Yeah.
12 bucks.
I love it.
So,
Good question. So to answer the question as its entirety, aged mortgage,
okay.
right? What lead type? It's aged mortgage, aged mortgage, aged mortgage. Everybody's like, "Are you sure?" Yes, I'm pretty sure. I'm the one buying them. I'm pretty sure it's aged mortgage. So where I'm at is a little bit different. My whole thing is I needed lead flow, right? So again, the bronze, the silver, aged mortgage. You can get 1,000 of those and run those every single week, 1,000 a week, 1,000 a week, 1,000 a week, no problem. And I have so many chances, right? Because you think
Yeah.
about it, that's a huge,
So many.
amount of leads. You know how hard it is to get through 1,000 leads, but if I keep dumping it on myself, there's no lead stress, right? So now going backwards as a new agent, it depends on your budget, right? Of course, but the strategy is leads every day. Okay. And it's an interesting strategy, but it works. But let's say you buy, I don't know, let's just go with 500. Let's say you just get 500 leads. Doesn't matter what lead type or anything like that. 500 leads. What the strategy is that every single day you need to introduce more leads to yourself. Okay. If you take 500 leads and you try to work them all at one time, it's not going to happen. And on top of that, you're never going to get back to lead number one and two. Never happens, right? But if I introduce to myself 100 leads today on a Monday, for example, I have 100 leads to work. I'm going to rip through my 100 leads, book appointments. Tomorrow, I drop another 100 leads in my lap. I have the leads from yesterday. I have another 100 leads. And I rip through those and I keep booking and booking and scheduling. And then Wednesday, I drop another 100 leads in my lap. So now I have Monday, Tuesday, and then I have Wednesday leads coming in. Okay. Then Thursday hits another 100 leads. And then Friday hits another 100 leads. So now I've tricked myself into to not having lead stress, right? So I'm not so focused on like, oh man, I need to rip through these 500 leads. I'm hoping I can get to everybody and call everybody back and forth. No, I'm going to focus on 100 at a time. And then the next day 100, next day 100, next day 100, right? So I always mentally have lead flow every single day coming in, right? Because again, trying to work 500 at one time is not going to happen. Never does. Never work, right? So that's like the proper structure for any agent. Really, it's just keep adding, right? Now, as you go and your budget changes, you can go from bronze to silver to gold or whatnot, but you just add more. Now instead of because sometimes people are like they start off with like 50. I get it, budget doesn't allow for it. Cool. You can start off with 50, but do it again, 50, 50, 50. Then it goes to 75, 75, 75. Then you go to 100, 100, 100. Then you go to 150, and then you go to 200. Then you get to 250, and then there's a point where you're just like, okay, this is too crazy. I can't dial 250 people in one day. It's not going to happen. Now you know where your point is, right? And again, if you have like dialers, if you're using a high level system and whatnot, but at a certain point, you're like, okay, this is too much. Now you know where your threshold is, right? And most of the time, like for me, it's like 200, 250 is pretty much that threshold. And again, it depends on what comes over from the previous days too. So if you follow that system, it's just again mentally, you're always getting leads.
Lead stress. I love
Yeah.
eliminate lead stress. And you're also creating this for yourself and the new agent, like going to the gym or eating
Hmm.
right. You're creating the habit of
Yep.
just buying leads every day. So you're
Yep.
like, and then all of a sudden it's Saturday and you're like, should I work out? Should I eat right? Well, probably should. I did well all week, but
Hmm.
sometimes we have bad habits. Well, at least Monday, I'm going to buy some more leads, right? Because this is my habit. This is
Yep.
something that I do. I identify as someone who buys leads constantly, and it gets you excited because you've got new people to run through and talk to. And so I know you do some systems, right? So if they're buying leads every day, or you're buying leads every day, let's pivot back to you. What are you doing initially with those? And I know you use some high level systems or software. I'd love if you dig into that for a little bit before we
Sure.
get to like, the holy
Yeah.
grail of scripts.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to back up a little bit too, mind you, for everybody, when you use the lead center and you have it automated, you get a discount.
Bingo.
So not only are you getting leads all the time, you also get a discount for doing that.
Automate and
Right?
save.
So you could just,
50% off.
yeah, again, just let it automate, and then again, it forces you to keep working. Yeah, so using a high level system, like all the different CRMs out there, there's a bunch of people that have different CRMs. It's a machine. That's all it is. You feed the machine, it runs, like you have text message campaigns, some of them do email campaigns. You could even use it as a dialer, have it run through as a dialer and call people all day long and let it run through lists. So using all of the above is what you need. But the big thing is just feeding the beast, right? If you think that, okay, I'm going to feed the beast 50 and it's going to be great, it's like, no, you need to really push it to its limits and, push that 100, 150, 200, 250 and let it ride. Yeah. So I was just talking to actually Dominic, the other day, and he was telling me about it. I was like, yo, you're not feeding your beast enough. Like it's not healthy, you know. You're running your machine, too skinny. You got to really just feed it and feed it and feed it and feed it and feed it. So that's again like that's all I did. Just feed it. Again, you're going into the to um to the lead center. You got $2 leads. You know what I mean? $3 leads. You
You
know
have
what I mean?
one
You get
sale
a
out of
you get a
250.
thousand of those.
One sale at 250, you're above even. Two
Yeah,
or three, and all of a sudden now
get out.
you got your boy.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's
Tell him
all good.
what's up.
I do have people that work out of my house all the time.
That's great, man. I love it. But like that's the ratio, right? We can't guarantee that you will make a sale out of those 250 leads,
Yeah,
but people do. And if you follow the scripts, you also have a chance, right? I can make
yeah,
no guarantees and no promises,
yeah.
but this is what
But
other people are doing. This is the results they're getting. And
the
but
thing
you
is, if
may
you
not
just
even,
a
yeah,
thousand leads, you can have a
yeah.
thousand leads in your lap. You got to write one. Like, come on.
Come on,
Like,
man.
you're gonna
Come
get
on.
that one who's like, yeah, I've been waiting for you to call. I need somebody.
Always. Always. I always said it's
Uh,
25% are laydowns, 50% you got to sell, and 25% Sean Mike couldn't sell.
yeah,
It's just part of the business.
yeah, 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 absolutely. But that's all it is. You feed the leads into the system, and you're good.
Okay.
No secret.
Any what's the right word? Any cadence, right? Is it you get the leads and immediate text, a follow-up 2 days later? Like give me any final insight
Yeah,
on that, like what you do?
absolutely. So a lot of the CRMs, it's like it runs a certain amount of days, right? Some of them will like run 4 days, 5 days, 7 days, even a 2 week run for some of the different campaigns that some people do. But and that's also part of the whole. more leads, more leads, more leads, more leads, right? Because they're rolling over, rolling over, rolling over, rolling over, right? So you, of course, right when you get the lead, it's an immediate message right off the bat. Okay. Generally, maybe two on the first day. After that, maybe you can move it to every other day because this changes. It'll change. We change the cadence as much as we can just to keep I guess getting better, right?
Yeah.
Just figuring out what is the best days to respond, not to respond, and stuff like that. But nonetheless, it's just keep it going for a set time frame, right? Whether it's 2 weeks or it's a 7 day run or a 10 day run, what it does for you is that every time you keep adding more leads, you always have something coming in. The thing is with a lot of the CRM systems and a lot of just in clients in general, you could text them all you want and then they just don't even respond until like the seventh message. And I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
So you let me message you that many times and you finally go, oh, hey, sorry, I was busy. Like, oh my God. Like, but you keep it set to that, that run and just keep it to any day. You change it as much as you can. And that's the objective, right? Always change it, always evolve, always trick the system a little bit because, change the algorithm a little bit, change it.
Yeah, people will go, well, what do you say? And I would go, hey, Harold, this is Grady following back up without the recent request you put in for mortgage protection. Just landed on my desk. My job is to follow back up and
Yeah.
get the packet out to you. Do you have some time today or tomorrow to have a quick conversation? Something along those lines, right? Is that close to what you start with?
Yeah, that's all it is. It's just an introduction. Hey, it's in regards to the mailer you mailed back for mortgage protection.
Exactly. So I get hung up on words because I like words. And I get hung up on it, but it's not the words so much at this. The words are more important when you're on the phone with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where words matter to help them alleviate concern,
Of
increase credibility, reduce sales pressure. When we're dialing and when we're texting and emailing, it's volume and it's just showing continual professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you said, on the seventh text, they go, oh yeah, I've been busy, right? It's all about timing. You're busy, I'm busy, they're at the office, their boss is yelling at them, they get a text from you, they're not going to respond right now, right? They deleted it, 17 more texts come in by the time they get home and you're a lost, forgotten it's just about time, guys. That's why it's these good high level. We use the one called Zippo. A lot of people use that one. I'm sure there's a bunch out there now, but the reality is it's just like you said, feed the machine, feed the beast, and let the time of letting the automatic just keep pushing that client, showing your professionalism.
Exactly.
Do you use ethos at all within that text campaign? Like at the end, do you go,
yeah,
Bob, I give up. Here's my direct.
Yeah. It's the last one. It's like, hey, here, you know what? I haven't been able to get a hold of you. It's not a problem. Here you go. You can create your own, plan. Here's the link. You could just design your own plan. Yeah, you can drop it in the last.
And then
message.
even those, you'll come back to them in 30 days and go, hey, Bob, we're circling back around. You die yet? Like we're here. Are you good?
You still alive?
You're still alive. We're here to take care of you.
Yeah.
So, but that's the beauty of these systems, guys, is he piles in 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 leads over a year. It's like, I don't know. It's like if I lived on the desert, I'd be constantly storing water, right?
Yeah.
The drought's coming, right? And when not so much a lead drought, but when you are a farmer and you need water, as I continue this analogy, you will have so many leads that when you say it's just, you're having a rough day, you go hit a campaign from 6 months ago and all of a sudden you get 17 responses and they go, well, I've been waiting for you to reach back out to us.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's all it is.
That's awesome, Harold. Any final tips on this part before we jump in the script?
No, I mean, like I said, lead flow is cash flow. That's all it is. Just flood yourself and you'll be fine.
Awesome.